Hello there, welcome back. So if you're a new player and you're looking into ways of making more gil in this game, which is 99% of the players in this game, I see it happen all the time in a novice network. I got this strange little mentor icon that doesn't mean shit because I even fail at times and I'm not the best player in the world. So it's kind of a way to rub your ego, but I figured, well, let me answer this question. How can you make some gil as a new player, especially if you're not a crafter? So this video is about a gatherer and basically all the combat classes like tank, DPS and healer. It works as well. There are different methods of making some gil. One is of course the duty roulette itself, where the adventurer in need always gives you a gil bonus after finishing the dungeon. So usually it's a tank or a healer most of the time. Currently with me, and I don't know if this is the same for everyone, depending on your level, maybe it's different, but for me it would mean I get 10,000 gil for every time I play the duty roulette. So even if I were to do that 10 times a day, which is not a lot if you play for a couple hours in a row, that would be 100,000 gil I would already make there just by playing a tank. So as a fighting class you can make gil that way, and you do it by gathering certain items or buying items using tombstones. So always in end game you can use the tombstones and trade them in near the vendor where you normally get your gear. You have an option to go for so-called other items that you buy with tombstones that you can then sell on the market because they are needed for crafting and other stuff that crafting classes use. So then you can make a lot of gil easily as well. With that out of the way, being the main methods of making money if you're not a gatherer or crafter, let's go over to the gathering classes. So what I suggest you do is first of all level up your Botanist, Miner, and if you want Fisher. Now I say if you want because personally I don't like playing Fisher. It's a pain in the ass for me, the whole system is boring as hell. I just don't like playing a Fisher at all. With Miner and Botanist I find it relaxing just going into areas gathering items that I know will sell on the market. How do you figure out what sells? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Once you have the Botanist or Miner class and once you have them leveled to, let's say, level 60 at least, of course it's best to go for level 80, always go for the end game with that character so you can actually gather everything that you have at your disposal. You want to start looking at the gathering log. That's what you have with these characters, and they will explain to you what you could gather and where you can gather it, what area they will be in. Now what you're going to do here is look at that gathering log obviously, and then also look at the market board. So the easiest way to do this is to stand next to a market board itself, open up your gathering log and just pick random items and put them on the market board as a search term to see what shows up on the market and then for how much it sells on your particular server. What you're going to find is there's always very specific items always in your gathering log that if you gather those you can then make quite a profit of it just as a gatherer alone. That's how I do it personally, and with the new expansion coming out at the end of this year in fall, it's exactly how I'm going to do it again. I'm going to level up my Botanist and Miner to level 90 because right now they are obviously level 80 and I can just gather stuff throughout the Shadowbringers areas, and then I'll have to do it with the Endwalker areas, whatever they will be. And that's how you do that. That's really all there is to it. Most people overcomplicate all of this. They think it's going to be hard or tricky or difficult. Well, perhaps the tricky and patient part you need is to level up your classes. But it's so easy. First of all, you use leave quests, is what they called, and you get like 4 allowances that technically or basically allow you to do these leave quests, which will then get you experience points through which your gathering classes will level up in this case. Now if you haven't ever done leave quests, but if you have been playing the game for quite some time, you probably have a lot of so-called allowances for you to use on these leave quests. The way to find out is if you open up your journal that normally says what quests you would be doing, and then somewhere in the bottom where the quests would be lined up there should be something like allowances and a number next to it. Now on my screen I have it here. You can see where the arrow is pointing. I have 100 allowances. That means I can do leave quests 100 times in a row if I want to, which then would mean a lot of XP and most likely leveling up quite a bunch of levels depending on which class I'm gonna start out with again. So during the expansion, that's what's going to happen for me. I'm gonna just do leave quests and also gather the items. Of course, gathering something for the first time also gets you a nice bonus XP for even finding those items, so that's why you want to do it anyway. But don't forget about the leave quests. They speed up a lot of the work and make it easier for you to get into gathering once and for all and make your beginnings there. You see, that's what I've been doing, and I know currently I don't have a lot of gil. If you look in the bottom right corner, you're like, well, this guy's talking about making money as a gatherer, but he's not rich. It's true though. Sadly, I didn't record a few days ago when I had over or around, give or take, 20 million gil, which is already a bit more. It's still not a lot, but I see so many players almost jokingly say, man, how do you even get 1 million? I only have a few 100k all the time. So you see people have issues gathering a lot of gil in this game, whether they admit it or not. I think it's a common theme for many people out there who aren't crafters in particular. They just struggle. Now the reason why most of my gil is gone is, as I said in a previous video about buying a house and how you can do that easily during these weird rules and restrictions you have in place. Well, I said I had around 20 million and I spent most of it on building, or at least, you know, buying a house and then furnishing it. So that's why most of it is gone. But let's say a couple of weeks from now or months from now, at least in future videos, you will see the gil grow again on my account. Just so people know, I know how to get it myself. I'm not making it up. I do know how to make gil in this game, millions if I want to, but right now, you know, this is just to help you get started in your own way, because having a couple million gil, it just feels good, man. I know it's a video game, but in a way it just feels freaking good to know that you're rich as fuck. But I've never had over a 100 million gil like some. So if you manage to do that, let me know in the comment section below, and also if you want, tell us how you did it, because that should be very interesting to learn from people who are truly rich in this game. Because a lot of times I spend my gil very rapidly. Maybe you can relate. I do it on glam or buying new emotes, or maybe sometimes I buy mounts. I remember years ago I once grinded about 15 million gil with a miner, and I did it with being a miner, and the only thing I gathered was crystals. Like wind shards, fire shards, electricity shards. Like, oh man, I forgot all the names. Lightning shards, that was it. So fucking dumb, right? It's been years ago. I don't gather that anymore because by now the market is saturated like crazy. But there was a time during Heaven's Ward, I think it was, yeah, if I remember correctly. I would go to the Sea of Clouds, you have these gathering nodes, and you would be able to take items and then turn them into crystals, into clusters. And I would make hundreds of thousands of gil every hour just by doing that, because it was so easy to gather, but most people were too lazy to do it. That's how you should look at it as a gatherer. Your job is to collect the items most are too lazy to gather for themselves, and then you can sell it for profit. So back then I would buy a mount for 15 million off the market, because hey, why not? If I have the gil, I might as well use and abuse it on the market board. That's why most of the time you probably won't see me have a lot of gil on me at all. But now I'm just going to gather and grind up my gil all the way up to Endwalker. So for months in a row I most likely won't be spending a whole lot of gil anymore, because I already bought most of the stuff I wanted for my home. And over time I might buy more furnishing if I like it, but that's how it goes for me personally, just so you know. Now if you don't have even 1 million gil, I do know you can easily get it by playing the main story, and every time you finish a quest you get some gil. Technically you could get millions of gil, I think, just by finishing the story itself. But then you also start spending a lot by buying new gear and stuff like that. So this is just a way for you to get started as a gatherer and miner. That's what I personally do, and that's what I would suggest you start doing yourself. Just use those two classes at first and then expand upon it. If you enjoy playing Fisher, you can do that. It's the same method. You see the gathering log, you do the leaf quest, level up your Fisher, and then figure out which fish are most profitable and perhaps even hard to get, that people are too lazy to get for themselves. Then you can just get it for them and put it on the market. See, that's the whole mindset you need to have. That's all there is to it. It's not complicated at all. People always worry about it being so complicated to make some money in this game. It's very easy once you just start understanding the basics, and these are, as far as I know, the basics that you should just follow, and then you'll get some results in the form of more and more gil on your bank accounts, which is what you want. Anyways, if you have questions concerning gathering and making more gil even as combat classes, feel free to ask them in the comment section below and I might make a video or at least try to answer them as soon as possible. Now with that being said, if you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV content, be sure to subscribe to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.